Have you ever tried a Chinese cuisine that has always been hiding in plain sight, but has never been openly promoted? Today, I'm taking you to a new restaurant that has recently made its debut in New York City, showcasing Taishanese or Hoisan cuisine. Hi, this is Arthur from The Minute Review Show. If you have a minute, I have an opinion. Yuanzaibing is a Chinese restaurant featuring Taishanese cuisine with a side of traditional Cantonese food. The lines between these two cuisines have always been blurred because they occupy the same region in southern China, adjacent to Hong Kong. Today, I am going to show you a few dishes that I think highlight the cuisine and also describe some of the flavors and foods common in Taishanese cuisine. Also, stick around till the end when I'll reveal the star of the show. The kitchen is open, so let's go! Hi, this is Arthur from The Minute Review Show, and today I'm at a very special place. This is my first review ever of a Taishanese restaurant. For those of you who don't know, Taishanese is a region, or Taishan is a region in China that's in Guangdong province. And most of the early immigrants to the United States came from Taishan. So I'm proud to say that my family history is Taishanese. So Taishan can also be called Taishan, Hoisan, Toysun. Yeah, so there's many different ways that you can see it spelled. But this particular restaurant actually has a certification from Taishan. So it would be very interesting to see the types of food that they offer on their menu. Okay, today the restaurant that we're visiting is called Yuanzaibing. Yuanzaibing is the official name of this restaurant. I don't know how to read the Chinese, but that's what it's called. And you could also find that on Google. Also, the restaurant is known as King Kong, which is kind of funny. But the funny thing is that when we come in here, almost all the servers here and the waiters are wearing shirts that say Yuanzaibing, not King Kong. So I think it's a better route for you to look up Google using Yuanzaibing instead of King Kong. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take a look at the menu. I'm going to point out to you which dishes are specifically Taishanese, and yeah, we're just going to go through the menu and find out what they serve. Okay, now let's take a look at the menu. This menu is actually the takeout menu, but their in-house menu is covered in plastic, so it's exactly the same menu as this one. So let's take a look at what's inside. Now I'm gonna open up the menu, and it's in 4 sections. The first section of the menu are the appetizers. The appetizers are pretty much salads and also some fried dishes. So here's some salt and pepper dishes over here. We have some soup, and these particular soups are basically Cantonese types of soups, like Westlake soup, egg drop soup, things of that sort. Then we have some casseroles. Now this casserole is very interesting because it contains a combination of some Taishanese dishes and also Cantonese dishes, mainly Cantonese. They call it York Toi, which is Cantonese. Next we have the vegetable dishes, and then we have chicken dishes, and these are mainly Cantonese. Then we have the beef and lamb dishes, and then we have seafood dishes over here. Live seafood, all at special prices. So you have things like king crab, Dungeness crabs, freshwater eel, things of that sort. And then over here we have some more Cantonese stuff like noodle soups, seafood noodle soup, beef brisket noodle soups. You have rice and noodles over here in the next section, which include the ifu noodles, the lo mains, the pan-fried noodles, and things of that sort, including chow fun and lo mein. Now I must point to your attention this particular section. This particular section is what makes the restaurant. These are all the roast meats from Taishan, and these are called Fivespice dishes. So all these meats, the duck, the goose, the pork belly, the pig ear, chicken wings, pig intestines, they're all flavored with that 5-spice. And this is very specific to Toisan or Taishan. And this section is the most important in this menu, so we're gonna order a lot from this section. Next, we have the lunch specials. The lunch specials are served between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. We have this, and there's over 37 selections. And these are cheaper options if you want to add a protein. And in fact, some of the proteins that you can add are actually from this section. So if you want a cheaper version of it, get your meats over here. I made an interesting observation about this restaurant. It's Sunday afternoon and it's very crowded. And I noticed a lot of the people here at the restaurant are old-timer, Taishanese speaking people. And there are a lot of old people here, or the elderly here. So I think this particular place, the word has spread, and a lot of the old-timers who still speak Taishanese or Cantonese are coming here. So yeah, it's really true. I would say 80 to 90% of the people here are probably over 60. We ordered the Fivespice pig ear. Now the Fivespice pig ear consists of basically pig ears. Now the portion that they gave us is pretty generous. I think this is about 8 inches wide, a pig ear. You have the larger pieces on the right and the tips of the ear on the left. So let's take a look. Now the pig ear is usually notable because of this cartilage over here. The cartilage is the white piece and it's braised. So basically it makes the skin, the braising makes the skin nice and soft and easy to eat. And when you eat this, there's gonna be a delightful crunch from the cartilage. So yeah, you're gonna get varied pieces. The further along you get from this ear, you're gonna get more cartilage and less skin. So you can basically pick and choose the pieces that have more skin. And this should be good because it's braised in soy sauce. Okay, I'm going to try the pig ear, the Fivespice pig ear. Now, this is what it looked like. I took the pig ear from the very far end of it because I wanted more of the skin. So if you look at this, this is a nice brown braised pig ear. And when you braise it, it should be tender. Let's give it a try and see what the textures are like. This is delicious. Now, you have the chewiness of the skin and the crunchiness of the cartilage. What stands out is the flavor. The flavor is so good. The braising liquid has the right amount of soy sauce savoriness with a little bit of sweetness to it. It's so good. I've had this dish before, homemade. I rarely have this purchased from a restaurant, but this is such a good version of it. The flavors are definitely homemade, and my parents used to make it. I told you I'm Taishanese. So yes, the flavor is excellent. Definitely homemade, and it is really nice. We ordered the Fivespice Goose. The Fivespice Goose is a specialty of Taishan. I think it's a very big piece. You can tell because the piece is the goose leg, and look how long it is. And this goose leg has to be at least 7 to 8 inches long. And I can tell there's plenty of meat here. If you take a look at the meat, take a look at this. Take a look at that beautiful goose meat. Now, this is dark meat. Most fowl, which is duck and goose, are going to be similar. They're probably going to be very juicy. Now, the skin is roasted, and this actually, I think, is roasted and braised. It's not exactly crispy. So there's that braising stock on the outside, so it's not a crispy skin. But if you take a look at this, this is actually a really beautiful piece of leg. We ordered the quarter leg because the entire goose is going to cost a lot of money. If I'm not mistaken, I think half a goose is already $40. So we wanted to save a little money, and we ordered a quarter, which is what the waiter had suggested. I can't believe I'm going to the pièce de résistance so soon. And that pièce de résistance is the roast goose. Now, people who go to Hong Kong love Hong Kong roast goose. It has nice crispy skin, very expensive, and a lot of people love it. So in Chinatown, New York's Chinatown, there's very few places that serve roast goose. Now, this particular roast goose isn't the Hong Kong style roast goose. It's the Taishanese roast goose, which is more of a braised roast goose. So I took a piece of the roast goose leg, and look how huge this is. This piece from top to bottom is about 3.5 to 4 inches. It's huge. So when something is that huge, can it be tender? We're gonna find out. Okay. I can tell you that roast goose, it is indeed tender. I wouldn't say melt in your mouth tender. On scale of 1 to 10, I would give it maybe a 7. But the flavor is definitely there. You can taste the braising stock, and the braising stock is soy sauce based. And also, another interesting thing about this flavor is that it seems that it's not salty. It has a light salt, which is really good. So it has that 5 spice, it has some salt, it has that salt from the soy, but the braising, the flavor is not salty, not super salty. It's just the right amount, and that's what differentiates this. This is really delicious. Now, I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to take this meat, I'm going to dip it into some of the sauce that is on the bottom of that plate. On the bottom of the plate, there's some sauce to it. So let's taste it with the braising liquid. That braising liquid is heaven. It is so good. The braising liquid, when I dip the goose leg into it, it's very earthy. It gives a nice, deep, almost a sweet earthiness flavor to it. What I can say is that even though the roast goose is $38 a pound, no, I think $28 a pound is expensive. That's to be expected with roast goose. It's still worth it. And over here, they allow you to get a quarter of a roast goose. So you definitely should try this, especially if you're in New York, because this isn't very common. I was able to pick up a business card for Yuanzaibing. Once again, it's not King Kong. If you take a look at their business card, it says Yuanzaibing. And apparently there are 4 locations in New York. The location that I'm in is on Mott Street in Manhattan's Chinatown, and it's the first Manhattan location. I'm taking a look at this business card, and 3 of their locations are in Brooklyn. If you live in Brooklyn, you have a lot of options, but if you're touring Manhattan, definitely come here, because this is definitely interesting old-time Chinese food. Now take a look at the Fivespice Duck. Now the Fivespice Duck, I believe, is also roasted and braised too. Look at the skin, it's nice and soft. Doesn't need to be crispy, it's nice and soft. It's braised. We're hoping that all that flavor is seeped into that meat. Now, this particular dish is half a duck. I think it's about $22 if I'm not mistaken. They give you the breast, the back. Now this is the leg. Yeah, this is the back and this is the breast. So let's take a look at the breast and see the quality of the meat. Now, if you look at the meat, once again, almost all the meat in a duck is considered dark meat, and so it's going to be nice and juicy. What we aim for is that the braising liquid goes right into the meat. So here's another interesting thing. They seem to have given us half of the duck head. So this is actually a duck head. So duck head, the leg, the back, the breast. So this is a huge portion from left to right. This is about maybe 14 inches. So it's really big and a good deal. The next dish I'm going to try is another roast meat. Now, this particular one is a braised 5-spice duck. We are having the goose today, but I also wanted to try the duck. Also in the same family. So we're going to try the breast. And before I put this on my plate, I dipped it into the sauce that's in the plate of duck. So here it goes. Let's give it a try. Wow. That is delicious. This duck, I tried the duck breast. The duck breast is maybe a 9 out of 10 in terms of juiciness. It's so moist. The flavoring of the duck is similar to the goose. Basically, the braising stock is the same, but the juiciness factor is a little higher on the duck. Absolutely delicious. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try the duck leg. Now, here's a piece of the leg, and this one's much smaller. It's about 2.5 inches, the way that they slice it. So let's give this a try. And since it slipped out, I'm going to use my fingers. Here goes. I wish you can try it. I wish you were right here with me to try this stuff. Once again, a 9 out of 10 in moistness. Not only that, the duck leg has a bit of springiness to it. Such a pleasant mouthfeel. So delicious. I swear it's gonna be hard to figure out which one is the star of the show. Their braised meats, their Fivespice specialties, Toisan specialties are amazing. Now let's try the back. Same story. The back has more skin than meat. It was absolutely delicious. Flavor has totally penetrated into the meat on all three of the pieces I had. I highly recommend this dish. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Taishanese people, about their language, the culture, and also the food. So basically, the Taishanese basically were one of the earliest outward migrating Chinese people in Chinese history. And they landed in main places, a lot of English-speaking places. So you find Taishanese people in Australia, New Zealand, in America, and parts of perhaps Europe, and all over Southeast Asia. But the most important part of their history is that they helped build the Transcontinental Railroad. I remember years back, I went to Yosemite and some towns along Yosemite, and what was interesting was that I went to a lot of tiny little town museums, and a lot of these places had artifacts of Chinese who were there. And when you look at some of the artifacts, you can tell that a lot of them were classically Chinese. There were basically robes that were worn, beautiful silk garments, accounting books, those types of artifacts. And most of those people came from Taishan or the surrounding areas in Guangdong, more of the Cantonese people. So yeah, they have a very long history in America. Now, in terms of the language, Taishanese, when I grew up, my experience was that a lot of people who spoke Taishanese at home actually spoke Cantonese when they were outside of their house. So what happened is that it seemed that the language that was more accepted outside of the home was Cantonese. So you have a lot of hybrid Taishanese, Cantonese speakers in Chinatown. Let's talk a little bit about the food. The food in Chinatown during the 70s and 80s, some restaurants had the Taishanese element. So what I mean by that, what I mean is that you might have churng fan, rice rolls, especially beef rice rolls or pork rice rolls, with a hint of dried tangerine. And that is something that is a very Taishanese type of flavor. And back in the 70s and 80s, you found restaurants that served it that way. Also, you have restaurants that served Chinese like fried dishes. I would say they're more like snacks, like dumplings that were things like gai long, or basically they're fried dumplings. There are also things like silver needle noodles. That's very Taishanese. There's also other dishes, things that escape me that I can't remember. Oh yes, one thing that I can remember is something called Fei Mei Hong, which is like a 4-flavor soup. So that's a Taishanese soup that usually comes with some lunch boxes in Chinatown. So yeah, there's a lot of Taishanese influence. Slowly but surely, it's gone away, I would have to say. So finding this restaurant, coming here to Yuanzaibing is very interesting because there has never been a restaurant that actually focused an entire section of their menu on Taishanese food. So I'm really, being Taishanese, I'm actually pretty proud of that. I'm glad that they've done this, and it's really good to know that the history and culture is being preserved in such a way. Okay, this dish is called the yellow eel clay pot rice. Now this is also called Wangsan, Bo Doi Fan in Taishanese. Now this particular dish is yellow eel. So if you take a look at the pieces of eel, you see that the eel skin is kind of black. And then what they do is that they pick this eel meat and eel skin right off the eel, and they take out the bone, and then you're left with this spongy, soft meat, which I believe they stir fry and they put into this rice. Now, this particular rice is considered a bo dai fan. So I'm not sure if there's going to be crust on the bottom. We're going to find out later on. But it seems to me that they've stir-fried this with some soy sauce, and also some aromatics. I believe I see some, maybe some Chinese celery and maybe some scallions in here. And let's see what else they have in here. Yeah, it seems pretty simple. There doesn't seem to be much else in here. But this particular dish, you can have the smaller version or the bigger version. This particular version is $38. The larger one, I believe, might be $20 more. So I'm just eyeballing it, and in circumference, I mean, in diameter, it looks like it's 9 to 10 inches wide. So this can easily feed 4 to 5 people from what I can see. We're gonna give this a try very soon. Okay, now he's serving the yellow eel. This is called the yellow eel clay pot rice. Wang San Bo Doi Fan, that's what it's called in Taishanese. So we're gonna give this a try. We ordered the most famous Taishanese dish ever. So the most famous Taishanese dish ever is the yellow eel clay pot rice. So this is what it looks like. Yellow eel. They chopped it up into little bits, and basically we're left with the skin and the meat. So we're gonna give this a try. It looks like a very simple dish with some cilantro, eel, and rice. Let's try this. First, the eel. And the eel is exactly what I felt it would be. It just tastes like the meat. It's boneless. They did a good job picking out the bones, and it's actually nice and springy. It has a lot of the cilantro flavor and some scallion flavor, so it's actually really good. So there's not a lot of ingredients in here, so I'll be very quick in reviewing this dish. So let's try the rice. The rice looks excellent. There's all these greens in here. Let's try it. Soy sauce flavor, Chinese cilantro, very aromatic and not too salty. Good amount of soy sauce in here. So that mixed with the yellow eel is very nice. Now, let's talk about the quality of the rice. It's interesting. It looks like it might be a combination of long grain rice with the Vietnamese broken rice, because you can tell the Vietnamese broken rice by the size of the grains, and I think they mixed some of that in. Yeah, the rice is super high quality. You know, when rice is done right, there's a nice chew to the rice. It's nice and bouncy. This one has it. So we're getting high quality rice. We're getting a fresh ingredient in the yellow eel, and we're getting the aromatics of that cilantro. So good. And you know, this rice, even if it didn't have the eel, this would be totally delicious. I love it. For a high priced dish, I think it's worth it. One thing that I need to mention is that the yellow eel is not dominant in flavor. People really order it, I think, to enjoy the texture of the eel. So yeah, combined with this rice is a very nice neutral dish bursting with flavor. Here's one thing that I forgot to mention about this yellow eel clay pot rice. Here's a taste of tangerine peel, tang pei or tin pei. This particular dish has a slight aroma to it, and for those of you who know, tangerine peel is a very Taishanese ingredient because you see it all over southern China, especially in Taishan. So yeah, this is really localized, very nice. There's another thing that I forgot to mention about the clay pot eel dish. There's nong, or the crispy bits on the bottom of that clay pot. It's there, and there's a lot of it. We ordered the tofu and lamb stew. Now, this is a stir-fried dish that's supposed to be served in a clay pot, but in this case, they decided to serve it in a plate. So we have this tofu. It's a dried tofu, which is usually very long. It's called fuzhou, or fuzhou, if you want to say it in Taishanese. And we have some ginger here. We have some scallions here. And then we have some lamb. Now, the lamb here appears to be a lamb shank, a lamb leg. And you can see over here, it comes with a bone. And then there are other pieces of lamb here that have some more of the fatty pieces. So over here, I think they may have just fallen off of the leg. Here's some more of the leg bone here. Here's a piece of the skin. So this particular dish, once again, is pretty generous. I say from left to right, 12 inches. These are big. I mean, these dishes are not bargains. I mean, I think this dish is maybe $28, but you're getting a lot of food. Oh yes, and from top to bottom, from here to here, about 6 to 7 inches. So yes, you're getting a lot of food, but you're also paying a lot. So I can't wait to dig my teeth into this, because once again, it's one of those dishes that are really Taishanese from Toisan. The next dish that we order is the lamb and tofu stick. The tofu stick in Cantonese is tofu, and in Taishanese is tofu. This particular dish is totally braised. What they do is that they reconstitute these dried fuzhou in water, and then they cook it in the braising stock. So let's try the tofu stick first. This is the taste of Taishan. It has some of that oyster sauce, a little sweetness. It has a low amount of saltiness, but usually I love salt. But you know, in Taishanese cuisine, there doesn't need to be so much salt because the flavor is so there, especially in the braising. The next item that I'm going to try is the actual lamb shank. Now here's the lamb. Here's the leg bone right here. I'm going to use my fingers, so I hope you don't mind. Let's try this. This has a large piece of skin along with meat. Okay. Now, what I can say about this dish is that just imagine an oxtail. An oxtail usually is nice and crumbly and all oily, filled with fat. This lamb is not that way. It's tender. You can chew it. The skin also tender, not rubbery. But the difference is that if they wanted this lamb shank to be much more tender, they would need to braise it for maybe 2 or 3 more hours. But the flavor itself is good. It has that, once again, that braising stock, that soy, oyster sauce flavor, and it's all there. But I have to say that this particular dish could use a little more of the braise, maybe 1 or 2 more hours to make this a little more soft, a little more tender. This particular lamb, pretty good quality, pretty big piece. So yeah, I think this is a very good homemade flavor dish. It could just be a little more tender, but this is excellent in terms of flavor. This dish is called pan-fried noodle fish with egg. It was very interesting because we know other fish in Chinese cuisine called silverfish, but this particular fish is called noodle fish, and they look similar. They're both white, and let's break this open and let's take a look. Now, yeah, the color looks the same, but the difference is that with the other type of white fish, the little baby fish that you get, usually has like a silver streak or a bone in the middle. This particular one is completely white. So it looks very interesting. It's probably something that I've never had before. What they do is that they fry this fish and then they pour an egg batter right over it, and then they basically make an egg omelet out of this dish. So it's going to be very interesting. Seasoned with only some salt, and I can't wait to see what this is going to taste like, because to me, truly, this is something that I've never tried before. I had something similar, but this is something new. The next dish I'm going to try is the noodle fish fried with egg. Now this is basically an egg omelet with noodle fish. So let's see what it's like. Okay, I'm eating the noodle fish itself. They didn't really put that much salt into the noodle fish, so it tastes actually pretty plain. But the fish itself is not very oily. It basically tastes like flaky white fish. We're gonna try the fish with the egg, see what it's like. Okay, it's interesting. The fish isn't fully cooked. It has that nice little underdoneness to the egg, which makes it nice. What's interesting is that the more I'm eating the noodle fish, it has a slightly bitter flavor to it. There's a slightly bitter flavor to it, but it's not horrible bitter. It's just like a slight undertone to it. I'm not sure if this is normal for this type of fish, but yeah, it's very interesting. Another thing that I should mention about the noodle fish itself is that it's almost like a flaky white fish. So Yeah, this is a very interesting dish. A little different from the regular silverfish omelets that you would get at Chinese restaurants, Cantonese restaurants. But yeah, this is actually pretty good because the texture is a bit different from the silverfish. And now's the time for your favorite part of the show. Ta-da! The star of the show. And today we had so many good things. We had roasted meats, we had some cooked dishes, basically a lot of interesting dishes, including an expensive $38 dish. So what is the star of the show? What is the star of the show? And to me, the star of the show, and this isn't by a mile, but this is, to me, kind of clearly the star of the show. And that is the roast duck. Now, this particular duck, the Fivespice Duck, is the star of the show because this duck has the perfect amount of moistness. It has the delicious braising liquid, and also it goes fantastically with rice. The flavoring, the seasonings, everything you can imagine that's in a good duck is in this duck. It's different also because it's not roast duck Cantonese style. This is roast duck Taishanese style. So if you want something that's totally different from Cantonese style roast duck, you really should try this dish. This is something special, and it's not too expensive. Give it a try. I know you want it. The meal is over, and what an amazing meal. This is the first time I've been to a restaurant dedicated to Taishanese food. And you know, Taishanese is not a very well recognized, it's almost like a hidden Chinese. What I'm so happy about in finding this place is that this particular restaurant finally offers a showcase for this type of food. There are some YouTubers who are pretty famous who are Taishanese, and the one that comes straight to mind is Made with Lao. Now, the Made with Lao channel is presented as serving Cantonese food, but what I really like about their recent videos is that they lean into that Taishanese heritage that Mr. Lau has. Now, Mr. Lau, he speaks some Taishanese in his channel. I really love that. And, you know, there's no need to hide that you are Taishanese. And I feel that sometimes, you know, things get muddied. You know, Cantonese people and Taishanese people, we both come from the same region, but sometimes it gets muddied. And, you know, it's good that someone is showing their background, their history, and their food, the delicious things that are offered in their cuisine. So yes, this particular restaurant offers all of that. Also offers a good Cantonese menu, but today we focused on those Taishanese dishes. And if you have a chance, come here. It's been open for only about 2 months. This is July of 2025, so they're still brand new. Show them some support, and as I've shown you, the food is really good, so you should give it a try. Thanks for watching the Minute Review Show. If you like this channel, please subscribe, share, and like this video. And also, if you would like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link is on the bottom, or join my channel for as little as $3 a month. I would greatly appreciate it if you can support this channel. Until the next video, thank you, and I'll see you again very soon. The final bill before tip is $132.75.